Let me see the articles, please, if you would. And excuse me, turn the lights down. Turn the lights down, and just put this on. It's right behind you. Johan.
There's nothing this parliament can do. With or without you, people are going to occupy land. We require no permission from you, from the president, from no one. We don't care. We can do whatever you want to do. Who are you to tell us whether we can occupy land or not? We are going to occupy land. South African occupy land. That's who we are. Whatever we want to do, we can withdraw my membership from this useless parliament.
Yes, Honorable Member.
Must never be scared to kill. A revolution demands that at some point there must be killing, because the killing is part of a revolutionary act. Shoot to kill. Namaza. Kill the poor, the farmer. Kill the poor, the farmer.
The mayor of DA in PE is a white man. So these people, when you want to hit them hard, go after a white man. They feel a terrible pain because you have touched a white man. Not because Mashama and Suri will not be touched. They will be touched, come on. But we are starting with this whiteness. We are cutting the throat of whiteness.
Shoot to kill. Namaza. Kill the brewer, the farmer. Kill the brewer, the farmer. Shoot to kill. Namaza. Kill the brewer, the farmer. Kill the brewer, the farmer.
I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I'm saying to you, what's not called for the killing of white people, at least for now. I can't guarantee the future.
Yeah, but do you understand somebody watching that, especially as it gets shared on Twitter? They freak out. It sounds like a genocide going on.
I can't take it.
Who will expropriate land without compensation, whether they like it or not. If they object, they can seek refugee in America.
Now this is very bad. These are burial sites right here. Burial sites. Over 1,000 of white farmers, and those cars are lined up to pay love on a Sunday morning. Each one of those white things you see is a cross, and there's approximately 1,000 of them. They're all white farmers, the family of white farmers. And those cars aren't driving, they're stopped there to pay respects to their family member who was killed. And it's a terrible sight. I've never seen anything like it. Both sides of the road you have crosses. Those people were all killed.
I always see here crocodile tears of white people. Malema wants to kill white people. Hashem. Stop being sensitive. No one is going to kill you. You think we're going to kill you because you killed our people.
The killing mentality is in your head. We don't have a killing mentality. We have a mentality of justice and peace. The only thing we are not prepared to do is to prioritize peace over justice. There must be justice first before there is peace. Because peace without justice, we are pretending. One day we are going to have an outburst. Please, we don't owe white people an apology. Black people, stop apologizing to white people. They are the ones who are owing us an apology. You have done too much to damage a black nation. We are unemployed because of you. We are dying of diseases because of you. We are illiterate because of you. We have surrendered to drugs because of you. You owe us a lot. You must show remorse and stop behaving like crybabies. The South African democracy is going to be built by a robust debate, particularly when it comes to race relations. We must stop pretending to each other here. The poor means black. The rich means white. For as long as that has not been resolved, there will be a permanent problem between the poor and the rich.
Is there a white genocide in South Africa?
No, there's no sign of it, never has been. In fact, whites are economically the strongest group. They benefited from democracy more than anybody else. 64% of all boardrooms in South Africa are still white. The average income of white South Africans are vastly higher than black South Africans. No, they have better schools, they have better education, they have private health care. This is the land of milk and honey if you're white.
Has any land been expropriated in South Africa without compensation since the first all-race election in this country?
I'm not aware of anyone. Not a single farm that I'm aware of was expropriated without compensation since 1994.
So how do we interpret President Trump's executive order?
It is possible that South Africa has offended the United States with his policy on the Palestinians, and it could be that with his policy on Russia, the ambiguities of those policies and its relationship with the Chinese. It could be. I think that does play a role. But there was something very, very sensitive that was touched upon. And in South Africa, right-wing groups, so-called civil society groups, we know that they have access to the Trump administration because they claim that. And if you listen to what Trump has said, it corresponds exactly with the genocide narrative that they sell and that they market and that.
Terrible things are happening in South Africa. The leadership is doing some terrible things, horrible things. So that's under investigation right now. We'll make a determination. And until such time as we find out what South Africa is doing, they're taking away land, they're confiscating land, and actually they're doing things that are perhaps far worse than that.
And on the fact,
you know, this thing of the land is very simple, comrades. You just go into a village and look at how many families are there sharing 5 to 10 hectares called their settlement. 10 hectares. And then you go next to them, you find one Afrikaner family owning 1,000 to 2,000 hectares alone. And the village is constituted by more than 2,000 families. They are sharing 10 hectares. One family of an Afrikaner owns 2,000 hectares. And they only use 200 hectares of the 2,000 hectares they are owning. And then don't touch it. Don't do anything about it. Let these villagers continue to share the 10,000 hectares when one person owns 2,000 hectares. So it can be an acceptable practice. But what I find actually more problematic is that When we speak about racism in this country, people say all manner of things. But I'm still to see a white person who supports expropriation of land without compensation. One. I just need one. So, this thing that actually the division is a class division in South Africa is not true. Because even the poorest white person who doesn't have a land, who has got nothing, you pick up that person at the robots and say, what is your view about land expropriation? No, leave the land alone. The poorest white person. So in South Africa, we are still to deal with class divisions. At the core of our divisions is racism. That even the white hobo can't imagine black people owning a land, and it will collapse the economy. Because the way you are so dirty, everything you touch, you dirty it. That's what they say about us. That will collapse the economy. That everyone else will go. That was Zimbabwe. But that which we are doing now, I'm still to see a person who's going to show us that this was done in Zimbabwe. This that we're doing here. Yeah. It has never been done in Zimbabwe. The consultations brought involvement of everybody and allowing those who own the land to come to your meetings and insult you. It has never happened in Zimbabwe. And then that should give you comfort that our process is completely different from the Zimbabwean process. It's a completely different process. Stop sensationalizing, stop being alarmist, allow democracy to play its own role. So, with regard to the land, I think that is what we want to say. There is no food security which is going to be disrupted here. Not at all. Who are we to go into a farm that is producing food for us and say, no, you must cease operations, and then we are taking over? The ordinary people actually told us on the ground that these whites, when you buy land from them, you give them millions. They put stones in the borehole. They damage them. That's why when you come back and say, we have given you the land, you don't do anything with the land, they say, we didn't find anything functioning here. Before you paid them, everything was functioning here. After you paid them and we took over, everything collapsed. They poisoned the land. They take our millions and still poison the land. They take our millions and break the boreholes. So why would we want to engage in a risky process like that? All we are saying is that we want the land to be democratized. The ownership of the land in South Africa must be reflective of the demographics in South Africa. In Tubat's there in Skukuni, when you go to that area where there is chrome, where they said people were doing illegal chrome, before the state and big capital attacked them, just go and see what those people did with illegal chrome. In Skukuni, in the village, people were taking chrome because that chrome is just here. They just use a TLB. They don't use any sophisticated method to take out the chrome and sell it to whoever wants to buy it. Go and see what those people have done with that money they were getting from that chrome. You don't need a research. Just go and stand outside there. Those people have built houses, big houses for themselves out of that money of the chrome. They've changed their rural life out of that money of the chrome. Now they stopped them. When the EFF tried to intervene, that thing is owned by Samanco. Then Samanco says, no, this is our land. We've got the permit. So I asked them, what are you doing with this land? Because there's no activity here. People found an empty land, they are using it to feed themselves. They say, no, we're going to start mining here after 30 years. So I'm saying to them, but people are not going to eat after 30 years. People want to eat now. Why is Samanco and the people not coming together? Since Samanco realized these people are using this land to feed themselves, and the department coming together to try and find a workable solution which will continue to feed the people in that part of the land without any go-between. Directly the people must be helped to continue mining the chrome and don't damage the land. They will damage the land if we don't help them. They will damage the environment if we don't help them. That, no, this is how you go about it. But they've demonstrated that that land can benefit them now. And they've benefited out of it. So what do we say about those people who have demonstrated that this land can feed us? What do we say about the people who are saying we've got the tools to work the land to produce food for ourselves? A white man owns a huge farm, doesn't have sufficient cattle to graze on that land. Here are the poor communities, they've got cattle. When they are found in the farm of a white person who doesn't have cattle, who doesn't use that land for anything, they are either killed or they are arrested. You have to go and bail the cattle. The land is not being used for anything. This is a community with cattle. One family has got 4, the other one has got 5. And you know what they do? They use those cattle to pay for the fees of their children. Every January, all those who live in rural areas know that big trucks go into those villages to go and buy, because it's a selling season. Why are they selling in January? They must take their kids to school.